Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Philly Del Vesuvio podcast. Oh, I'm getting some feedback here. What is that? Never mind. Um, Welcome back to another episode of the.
Already.
What's that?
Technical difficulties already.
Yeah, I know. Last week we had, or not last week. It was a couple weeks ago now that we did the episode. We had some technical difficulties. Then we're having some technical difficulties now. Just never can never have a smooth episode, eh? Not once.
Can you do, man? It is what
Hey,
it is.
it is what it is, honestly.
Try our best.
But welcome back to another episode of the Fili del Vesuvio podcast. Having trouble speaking to now. Um, it's
Thank
your
you.
co-host, it's your co-host Carmine alongside my co-host Sereno. Buddy, how are you doing today?
I'm doing okay, Fine. Well, I'm still at the office, but I'm
Yeah.
technically off work right now. So it's Friday. It's the weekend.
Yeah,
Feeling a little bit aggravated after that Italy game, but I mean,
yeah,
what
yeah,
can you do? Jorginho, he's been money for the longest time, and now it seems like he can't score a penalty to save his life. But
dude.
um, what can we do? We still control our own destiny in that sense for Italy. But
That game. We're just coming off this Italy game right now, and like we'll talk about it. I mean, we usually talk about Napoli, but we might as well talk about it since we're here. That game.
everybody's watching it, right? So
Yeah, everyone's watching, so you might as well. It's recency memory at this point. But that game, man, I don't know. This team just like they win the Euros and they shut off. And I don't know, like they looked okay,
we
but
really need a center forward, man. Like I mean, I know Immobile wasn't fit; he got injured, but this team just in the final third, like is always missing that like final pass and mind you, they got looks like they had a few good shots. Like Chiesa, I think before they got the penalty, I think he slipped right before he kicked the ball, but I thought that was going into the back of the net.
yeah,
And then you win a penalty, and what can you do, man? But
I
it's
don't know. Like
that's the second time Jorginho, even in the first fixture against Swiss,
yeah,
he
yeah.
missed the penalty, and that's 6 points right there. We would have probably already been qualified for the World Cup at this point.
I mean, like eh, against a team like Switzerland, they are tough to play. Like let's not kid ourselves. Switzerland is a tough team.
They're organized, but
Yeah, they're very organized. They know how to play.
but we were there. We just didn't take our chances. And mind you, we messed up quite a few times. Like honestly, another talking point is after Chiellini Bonucci, who are we transitioning to after that? Like we're gonna have like the best midfield. We might possibly have the best midfield in the world, and then we're gonna have like I don't know like a Serie B pairing on defense for center backs.
I mean, like you'll have Bastoni, but
That's maybe
that's it.
Romagnoli, maybe, but I mean,
Yeah, but even then, maybe like is
I
one
mean
of these?
going from Maldini, Cannavaro, then going to Bonucci,
Yeah,
Chiellini. Now who do we got? Bastoni and Romagnoli. Like
yeah. Isn't one of the
very
Esposito a center back? I feel like one of the brothers is a center back, but I don't know for sure.
I have no
One of
idea.
the Esposito brothers,
Hopefully there's some 17-year-old wonder kid coming through the pipe right now.
dude. I really hope so too because I get what you mean. Like once we were spoiled with center backs
Oh, absolutely.
ever since the beginning of man. Like
Even
we always,
even in the goalie position, like we've always had
yeah.
world class goalies. Like went from who Buffon before was
Oh, Z-
Doff.
Zoff, yeah. Like we were
And then now you go from Buffon to Donnarumma, who looks like he has that potential to be at that level. Well,
yeah.
definitely this last tournament he was at that level, but you know what I'm saying. Like we've gotten lucky in those positions, and
Mhm.
even in the center back position. But we'll see.
I don't know. Like what I think what we are missing now, if we just have to look at what we need right now, is a center forward. I agree because
We have
Belotti is invisible and Immobile is invisible most games, and we can't trust Chiesa or Insigne playing center forward. They can't really play that role.
I,
Like
I I thought they did okay. Like honestly,
yeah,
like when I liked when they brought on Berardi. Like Berardi, I think is a great player. Like he just was was like a spark.
Hmm.
I didn't like the last substitutions he made because I felt like Insigne, Chiesa, like Berardi, those three were
Yeah,
creating like havoc.
yeah.
Even though I like Raspadori, like I feel like at that point of the game it's so late. Like you might as well give them the last 10 minutes, and they're creating chances. But mind you, we did get the penalty and we missed it, so we can only blame ourselves.
Another thing is like, and that on that penalty shot, not to be biased here, but if Insigne is on the field, I think I give Insigne the penalty to take.
No, dude, they're always giving that penalty to Jorginho.
No,
Whether or not Jorginho now maybe says, okay, I'm gonna give the ball to somebody else to take the penalty. They're always gonna go to Jorginho. Like, wait,
yeah, like the only options on the pitch were Jorginho and Bonucci, and honestly,
I
I
like
I like Bonucci as an option to take that penalty,
I,
but
I like defenders taking penalties, man. They just
me
run and
too.
just
They
smash
just run
it
and
and they put it
smash
to
the
the net.
ball. They just run and smash the ball. But like that's what Jorginho did. But since Jorginho doesn't know how to do that, he always does that little hop thing. He
Little
like
hop,
that
yeah. Which
he
I mean,
didn't
like,
do it today, and it threw him off. It
put on that,
legitimately
man.
threw
Like,
him
why
off.
can't they just put on that?
No,
Like
but like the fact that he couldn't do his hop, his brain short circuited, and he didn't know what to do anymore.
he
Like
can't he can't take those pressure free kick
no,
penalties anymore, man.
no,
The book is out on him, and he hasn't been able to adapt to the book being out. Like
yeah, I
he can't
agree.
take penalties, he's not like that. So
But you know what? A 1-1 draw. There is one positive that comes out of this game. The only goal of the game coming from a Napoli connection. That was a set play coming right out of Spalletti's book.
as soon as I saw that the little fake, I'm like, yo, Insigne's about to swing this.
Oh my god, it
So
was beautiful. It was a Spalletti playbook play. That was
yeah,
directly a page from his book. They practiced that. They did that at Castel Volturno, and then they just brought it to them.
who got to the end? Like who got to that ball at the end of the
Yeah,
day?
Di Lorenzo, the Napoli connection to get
Jonathan
that
and
goal.
Torres. That
So
was
at least we got that going for us right now. That little Napoli connection. And speaking of which, let's transition. Let's finally get into
focus.
the
Please
team,
focus.
the team we like to talk about the most, Napoli. So let's do a little bit of housekeeping. We're gonna start off with the segment again that we always do. Carmen's medical minute. Not literally gonna be a minute on this one. Not just today. Um, who was it? Diego Demme, even though he is vaccinated, does test positive for COVID-19, which is a normal thing. Even if you are vaccinated, let's get this clear, everyone. If you are vaccinated, it doesn't mean that you are completely immune. That means you cannot get infected again. If you're vaccinated, you can get infected again. It's just you'll be asymptomatic, which he was, and it's going to be very hard to transmit the virus to his teammates or to his family because he's has a quicker immune response.
And he won't go to the hospital or anything like
No,
that.
no, 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 no. It's very dampened the thing that he has because his immune system was able to respond a lot quicker this time around because of the vaccination. So you know what? I'm saying a week
Oh,
and a
not
half.
even for 2 weeks, maybe even less. He might even test negative his next test.
Yeah, exactly. It
Already.
depends. If he is positive, if it was a false positive, next test he tests negative, he has to test another negative one more time and he'll be cleared. But if it was a true positive case, then I'd say a week because his immune system would be able to handle the virus now, and he's a healthy person. Obviously, a week and a half time, like a flu, basically at this point, he'd be back ready to play. So he'll be back in time, hopefully for Inter. That's my prediction. And with that, that is all I have in terms of the medical side. Now we're going to switch gears and talk a little bit about not the team, but our club itself, because we
I
got a
think
little bit of news to
we're a
share.
team. I would say
You know what? We did have a soccer team.
we're a team.
We
Definitely.
did have a soccer team.
Pro.
So we do have an announcement to make, both on the Napoli Club Toronto front as well as for this podcast front. So we're gonna do them right off the bat here. So for your NCT news, we're gonna do the housekeeping again. Keep it nice and light. Our next meeting is the 21st of November against Inter, I think it is. And then it would be the 20, I want to say 8th versus Lazio.
Yep.
So for the month of November, that is what we are shooting for. It's the 21st versus Inter and the 28th versus Lazio. That's done. Now here's the announcement. Sereno and I have been.
Drum roll.
What you want to do a drum roll? Get it down on the table there. Sereno and I had been working alongside Fubo TV, and basically what we are doing now is we have partnered up with Fubo TV, in which Fubo TV is now a sponsor for the Napoli Club of Toronto, and similarly, we are going to be like a sponsorship brand to Fubo TV. Essentially, what we are doing here is we're going to be for our match week. Obviously, we would be using Fubo TV and promoting the use of their channel, but they also gave us incentives, mainly not for us, but for the people who follow us, our members and our fans.
Yeah.
So what they're going to be doing is, I think every couple of months or something like that. The details still have to be ironed out, but in a general sense, Fubo TV will be giving us um, free packages for accounts, gift cards, different memberships. Um,
A lot of contests coming up for sure, definitely.
Exactly. A lot of contests coming up for the people who are involved with the Napoli Club of Toronto. So, because we have this partnership now with Fubo TV, um, if you follow us, if you're a member of the club, if you enjoy the content we have, be sure to come out support us. Fubo TV is also giving us, like I said, these gift cards, free package memberships for their TV service and a bunch of other stuff, maybe even some memorabilia coming from the team itself. So that's something to look out for. We are very proud that we can seal a deal like this. It's kind of a big deal for us, going with.
Presidente over here making some big moves. Yeah.
Hey, that was that. It's both of us. I can't take all. It was both of us working towards this.
But really cool from football. Really excited to see how this goes. It's an exciting
What's up,
time for
Peter?
sure. Hey, what's up, Peter?
Ciao, Raf.
And
Yeah. So that's the news we have for the Napoli Club of Toronto, which is very exciting news. And for further details, that'll be coming up within the next few weeks. Definitely before the next match versus Inter, we'll have everything sorted out, ready to go.
keep an
So
eye
just
on the
follow us.
socials for sure.
Exactly. Just follow us on social media. Keep an eye out. Keep an eye out for those prizes because they're going to be coming quick and fast. So with that being said, that's all we have for club news. Now, I said we had two announcements to make. The
Another
second,
drum roll.
another drum roll. Give it up. This one is for our own podcast,
Woo!
the Figli del Vesuvio by Far from Vesuvius. We literally became the sons of Vesuvius right now. What I mean by this is Figli del Vesuvio is partnering up with the guys from Far from Vesuvius. Now, what does this mean? This means that all of our podcasts, the streaming service, everything is going to be under the Far from Vesuvius network, essentially. So their YouTube page, all the places where you get podcasts like Spotify, stuff like that, it will be posted on the Far from Vesuvius network as well. Myself, Sereno, and Rafa Rispo of Far from Vesuvius, we've been putting this in the works for a little bit now. We just never found the right time to like try to get things going, but we finally found the time to say, you know what, we're in this, let's do it together. And basically we're just trying to expand this community. um, there are viewers from the Far from Vesuvius network that follow them, and just being under their tree, they get to follow us as well, and vice versa. The people who follow us may not know about Far from Vesuvius, and they can start to follow the other content that they put out, which is great content as well. Even the Raf and Raf rant, which is another great service for all things Napoli. So it's just creating this
Coming through the
network.
pipeline.
Exactly. It's just creating this network to connect
It's a big
all of.
we all are very close, and it just gives us a bigger opportunity to connect with all the amazing people that are part of the Napoli family. So very, very honored to be part of the Far From Vesuvius network.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's been we've been talking about this for a while, so it's exciting that it's out there and we can get the ball rolling for sure.
Yes. So, with that being said, this podcast will now be posted. If you're listening to this, if you haven't listened to it yet, you're not joining us live, this will be posted onto their Spotify and everything else. So, I'll post this one onto ours as well so everyone can hear it, but also just look out for that as well for the future podcasts. Now, house cleaning is done. We've done everything we need to talk about for the club and podcast. Let's get into the thick of it. As you know, this episode is called Death, Taxes, Transfer Rumors, because those are the three guarantees in life when you're a Napoli fan: death, taxes, transfer rumors. And we have arguably, to me, this is the biggest transfer rumor of all time, mainly because we live in this city. All right.
I feel
And
like I feel like I manifested this subconsciously. So blame me.
you know
But
what? In a way, I've always wanted it too, because ever since Jovinko, I'm like, how cool would it be
he like
if
have Mertens or
Mertens or
Insigne,
Insigne come
Toronto.
over? But not now. I was thinking more towards the end of their career in the later years. But you know what? We're here in talks. Insigne to TFC. Now, here's the thing. There are other teams in the mix.
Oh yeah,
Inter, which he's not going to. Let's just get that out of the way. If he's going to another team, it's not going to be within Italy. All right. I
yeah.
don't care who you are.
He won't. He won't. He
He
won't.
will not. He will not. Out of respect for himself and for the team and for the fans, he will not do it.
But listen, the only from the look of things, the only team that is concrete, like there's an offer other than Napoli is TFC. Like
TFC,
TFC very much wants Insigne. Like they are showing him a bag, and the bag is large.
dude.
Um,
Like, listen, they when they had Jovenko, they were paying Jovenko 7 million clean. He was making 7 million clean, and plus
US
tax
US
bracket.
dollars. Yeah.
The tax bracket in Canada is less than that it is in Italy. Over 200 and something K here, you're taxed 33%. In Italy, you're taxed 43%.
Yeah.
So he like Jovinko here was making a lot of money. Apart from the fact that MLSE is bank.
Yeah.
MLSE makes money.
Yeah.
And if there is a team to give Insigne that type of money, apart from the Premier League, Toronto FC is one of those teams because they can afford it. MLSE makes $80 million a year net.
And they know that well, as a brand right now, TFC, since Jovinko has left, and they've tried to replace with other designated players like Soltado
Mm-hmm.
and Pozzuelo was already there, but
Yeah.
they're kind of moving on from those DPS because they're not very good and they're not bringing the crowds like how they used to. Um, Obviously, in Toronto and the GTA, there's a very large market, like in terms of Italians. So obviously, TFC is trying to replicate that same Jovinko thing, um,
Yeah.
just to reattract the Italian Canadians that live in the GTA. Because obviously, you're bringing in if they could bring in Senior right now, you're bringing in a player that literally is 1 year off of winning a Euro with the Italian national team, and the hype is there. So for them, that any money that they're giving to him would be worth it because they're gonna pack that stadium, and he would absolutely boss the league.
Yeah.
But on the reverse side, do you think Insigne is ready to give up playing uh, top European football and then potentially also give up his spot in the national team? That's kind of what he's in between right now. So I think he has that offer there, but if Napoli were to ante up and give him kind of close to like what he wants, I think he would prefer to re-sign with Napoli at least for the
Yeah.
time being. Even on a shorter term is what I was reading. Like even if they give him a few years less, but if the money is the money he wants, he'll sign. So
Mm-hmm.
we'll see.
Listen, like I said, if there is a team to go out and make this purchase, like you said it yourself, it's Toronto FC. Because if for those who lived in Toronto and for those who don't know about what happened when Jovinko was here, Like this city, you didn't have to be Italian. This city was in a craze over this dude. He ate free anywhere he went. He got free anything he wanted. Really, he was a king in this city, and
And everybody really got behind like the TFC when
everybody,
he was here.
everybody got behind TFC. It wasn't even people from Toronto. Everyone got behind TFC because of it. And this guy he liked it so much that his family lives here now. That's the thing. He moved his family permanently to Toronto and they live here. So they have the means to do it. Like there's a bunch of reasons why someone may be attracted to going to Toronto FC. Like I said, MLSC is the second highest paying organization in the MLS right now. Toronto FC, second highest paying organization in the MLS. They have a wage bill of $17 million. They spend six. They're the top 5%. Top five spendages percentage at 69%. They have money to throw. That's because they're under this bracket group called MLSE, and that contains the Toronto Blue Jays, Toronto Rock, Toronto Maple Leafs, the highest paying organization in the NHL,
The Raptors,
um, the Raptors, and Toronto FC, and the
and the
Argonauts.
Argos. Yeah,
So those are six. They have some of the top paying teams in the big five leagues.
yeah.
So they have
Thanks
the
to us
piece.
that we spent like $200 on nosebleed seats in Toronto. So
Yeah, that's us. That's a part. That's our fault, to be honest. But they have the means to bring these guys in. Now, if it's purely based on money, if we're just going based on money as it is right now, Napoli offered 3.5 million with a million and a half in bonuses. That's what the offer was. So somewhere around 5 million.
and apparently the bonuses were very hard to attain. Like they were like
Yeah,
difficult
yeah,
to.
they were. So another thing that they looked at was maybe giving Insigne shares in the club, which is not a bad idea. Giving him shares in the Sociedad, so he makes his money that way. It's just basically like latent income for him at that point, which is another good thing. But I don't know what the figure that Toronto offered him right now, but I think Toronto is offering somewhere near what Jovinko was making, uh, $7 million or something like
I'll
that.
be honest. I think it's gonna cost them more for Insigne because Jovinko was a great player, but look at like Jovinko. I don't think has ever reached Insigne levels in terms
No,
of Europe and with the national team of Italy. Like I feel like
no,
they would like TFC has to like throw out like a fat bag at Insigne to
yeah,
come over.
yeah.
Uh,
I think plus bonuses and stuff like that, even upwards of like 10,
I feel like it would have to be 10. Clean.
somewhere upwards of 10. But this, listen, we're talking purely based on money right now. We know MLSC and TFC has the money to pay him. We know Napoli can give him the money too. It's not like they can't. Napoli has, if they want, Napoli can give him what he wants. But there's a bunch of different factors that we have to take into consideration now. Firstly, Insigne is, correct me if I'm wrong, 30, 31,
I think 31. I could check that right now.
31 years old. So he's got 4 years, maybe.
I feel like yeah, up until like right now he's hitting maybe the mid of his prime. Maybe I think his prime probably might last until 33, and I think he'll still have the legs for Europe probably up until 35. So yeah, you're probably looking at
Yeah.
4 or 5 years, but like
So
maybe another two at a very high level. Because look at
that's
Mertens is starting to
that's
get
exactly
lost
my
now,
point.
right?
That's exactly my point. Like he has 5 years total, but how many of that are going to be prime years left? Like you said, maybe two, maybe three
Oh,
if he stays
he's
healthy.
30. He's 30.
Oh, he's
June
30, so he's got
24. Yeah.
5 years. He's got. I'm saying 5 years left, and three of those prime, and then the last two are going to be the turn down years for himself. Now,
You'd basically be paying him
two,
for loyalty too, as well. Like the fact that
yeah,
his whole career here with Napoli, so you
if
gotta
it's
take that into consideration.
and that's the thing. If it's purely based on money, for the last, if they're offering him like 4 years at $10 million, based on money itself, it seems like a pretty good deal. But the thing is with Insigne, and I said this in the group chat, to me, if I'm De Laurentiis, I am not getting rid of him purely based on the fact that he has so much influence within the club and the city that nothing is worth that value to me.
I
He
mean,
his value, as much as he's let's be honest here, he can be replaceable on the pitch. He can be replaced. You can put another a very good left winger on the pitch who can kind of replace Insigne. It's very hard to find one, but there is one or two out there. All right.
probably, yeah. Like it's his influence off the pitch too. Him being Neapolitan, like I don't feel like his like story with Napoli should. I feel like his European journey like should end with Napoli.
Yes.
That being said, say if I don't like to say the S word, but say if in May things go the best way that we can imagine for our team, right? Insigne might think, okay, I got this now. I got the Euro. Maybe I'm done already, and I want to go make some money. I want to raise my family in a more calm place. Obviously, he probably looks at Jovinko that he moved his family here. Maybe he's
Yeah.
thinking, you know what? After I retire, I want my kids to grow up in a more calm place, or I want to spend my last few years that I can play, making a lot of money, and living somewhere that it's a little bit more chill.
Yeah.
Um, and I could see that. I honestly, in that case, I could see that happening. And see if Mancini then might turn around and say, the World Cup is in November, right? Uh, he'd only be playing in the MLS for what a month or two, so
Yeah.
he still would have those European experience in his legs and his mind. Still, maybe he can still come for the World Cup, even though he's with TFC. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying so. Yeah,
There's a lot of things to take into consideration with it's a very delicate situation because of the fact that, like you said, he's very first of all on the pitch. Let's not understate Insigne's importance because all of our attacks begin with Insigne in the midfield.
no,
All of
for
them.
sure.
All of them. All of our attacks come from the left side. Without Insigne on the pitch, it's very hard for us to attack.
No, absolutely. He's a creative player. He's a very like
Exactly.
he does little things, but also he does things that you notice a lot. He can make that final pass. He has a good shot. He commands like attention from defenders, and he makes space for other players. So yeah, no, he's definitely a very valuable player. But it's not like I saw people saying, well, a guy like Insigne, you can find them, which is true to an extent, but a guy like Koulibaly is very hard to find. So people are thinking, you know what? If we lose Insigne, maybe we can take the money that we were going to use to re-sign him and give more to Koulibaly so that we lock him up for however many more years. Because Koulibaly defenders usually play a little bit longer at a higher level,
Yeah.
and a player like Koulibaly, like good luck trying to replicate like that level of a center back. It's very difficult.
But I mean, there's other ways to do that, Serrano. For example, Lozano's not a long term player, and you can get rid of him pretty easily and send him to a bigger team like Barcelona, for example, for a decent amount of money and free up that space. There's
I
other
mean,
ways you can do it.
Lozano's also a younger player. He's also going to be playing for longer than Insigne at the end of the day.
Exactly. But
Even with Politano, but I mean, you're going to like sell a player that could be useful for a player that maybe has got 1 or 2 more years like left in his legs. Like honestly, best case scenario for me, is Napoli extends Insigne maybe for a short term, for like 3 4 years, and then in the second or third year, TFC comes and they give Napoli a nice little transfer fee, and he goes to TFC if they want him so
yeah,
bad.
I agree. That's another thing is that we shouldn't really be sending him for free like that. I
Yeah,
don't think that's right. Like you said it, like I'm gonna wrap it up for my point here. Like you said it best. The his story does not end here. Not for me at least. His story has to me, if it's up to me, his story has to finish with a Scudetto in his hands. That's
if it happens this season, then it might then I think he might be like, you know what?
and I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I'd be okay
Personally,
with
I'm
it.
okay with that.
He'd be like, I got a Euro, I got a Scudetto. A
Yeah,
Scudetto with Napoli is like winning a World Cup. I'm sorry.
basically.
So
And
he could be like, I'm pretty fulfilled right now, you know.
yeah, I agree.
But
But we'll see how this plays out.
you got to
I
also see how badly he wants to be a competitive player, because at the same time, there's many players that could have went out for more money at a certain time, but they wanted to stay in Europe because they still want to win trophies. So we'll see
Yeah.
how important it is for him to win trophies. Like maybe, you know, we'll see. Anyways, uh,
I don't know. Like it's like I said, it's a delicate situation. There's a lot of things that we're just putting up to speculation right now because we don't know the full story. For
I
all we
mean,
know, Pizzacane could just be making it all up. Like
he was at
he
BMO and
was
he
at
was
the
at
match.
Spartak.
He was at the
So
match.
I
Yeah,
don't know. Where there is smoke, there is fire, my friend. That's
and you know what? Jovinko was there as well, so they're probably trying to get them both on board or using Jovinko
probably
to get him on board. I don't know. What I'm gonna say is this should not affect. It should try not to affect him. It doesn't look like it's affecting him on the pitch. He's still putting up numbers. He's still playing pretty good. But just let us know, guys. Let us know. Do you think Insigne stays? Does he leave? Let us know about the situation. If he does leave, where should he go? Toronto FC is the answer. But if he does leave, just let us know. Hit us up in the comments below. But with that being said, let's get into last week's performance. So we're not gonna talk about the Salernitana game because it's a little too far behind us right now, and I can't really remember it. So we're just gonna go into the Verona match, Voracious Verona, because every time Verona has to play a big team, they turn into 1970 Brazil. Every single time, they're always excited to play these big teams. They
no,
couldn't
they're
if it
excited
was
to play us. That's what it is always.
if
Wow,
it was for them. Oh, by the way, Pete just said he's got to say the league win should not be the end of the journey.
maybe
Maybe, but I think for me, I'm happy if it is. That's all he needed.
basically.
But yeah, going back to the Verona thing, man. When if it was up for Verona, they'd play the top six teams every single week, and
Probably.
they may even push for a scudetto if that was their choice. These guys, I don't know what it is, but when they see Milan, Juve, Napoli, etc., 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 on the schedule,
It's the game of
they
their life, Carm.
game of their life. It's like they're playing the championship final.
That's what it is. It is what it is. It's always been like that. But I feel like when they play Napoli, it's even more. To be honest, they don't play as much for wins. They play more for even ties. Like it's like they want to just take points from Napoli.
Ruin
That's
it.
all they
They want to
care about.
ruin it.
Yeah,
Not
and
even
not for
for
anything.
Napoli.
I don't like to complain, but the ref in that game, my brain forgot about it because I'm in my old age now. It's like I can't take too much stress, so my brain, like as a
Yeah,
defense mechanism, makes me forget certain things. But now I just remembered that ref was quite possibly one of the worst refs I've ever seen. It's like I don't know how they keep stepping up like and being more terrible, but they find a way. And apparently that was his first Serie A match.
that was his first Serie A match. This guy's coming in from Serie B, and you're throwing him to Napoli Verona,
It,
as
the,
if Empoli and
you're
Genoa did
giving
it
him
2 days
a
ago.
first place unbeaten team to ref. Like, come on.
That that doesn't sit right with me because as a referee, listen, not no knock on Serie B. Serie B is very high quality soccer. Okay, it's nothing compared to Serie A. It's not. It's not comparable. And
I
you're
don't think they're
throwing
paying
him.
him enough, to be honest.
What was that?
I don't think they're paying him enough because I think maybe he
Oh,
got like a Cinquecento or something carved over.
yeah, maybe. Little wink, wink there. Yeah, like you're throwing him to arguably one of the hardest games that weekend to referee based off chippiness alone. Because
Yeah,
Verona always plays a chippy game, and Napoli has a few hotheads on the team that play back with that chippiness.
I
So
know.
like it's a game that no inexperienced referee should ever touch ever. And I guarantee you, in any other league in the world, a referee that's just coming up from a lower division is not going to go ref a game like that. They're going to
No,
go ref.
absolutely not.
They're going to go ref Empoli Genoa that happened 2 days before. They're going to go ref that type of game. If it's in England, they're going to ref like Brentford and I don't
Burnley.
know Crystal Palace or something like. They're going to do these types of games because they're not experienced enough to handle these situations. And you saw it: blown penalty calls, blown fouls, This guy, I didn't
Two,
watch the
two,
full
three.
game.
I'm sorry, Ozyman's was clear through on the net. That's a penalty. Number one.
Yes,
Handball, maybe not.
maybe not.
I
No,
don't think
that
you could
was
say it was.
was
I don't think
close.
it was a penalty. There was a third one, but I can't remember. The the other things were at halftime, like we were on an attack. He blew the whistle with like 10 seconds left before the 45.
Yeah,
So he blew it in the 44th minute,
and a
and then
full minute.
not for anything. They gave us originally 3 minutes of additional time. There should have been way more because of all the fouls, all the stops, all the time wasting. They extended it to 6 for I think there was a few red cards when it didn't
He
even
played
matter.
5.
He extended to 6 and he played until 5. I don't
That
know if
was.
this I don't know if this guy he has up to maybe a grade 1 education. He skipped the grade where you learned about how to tell time. Like apparently that's not an essential class in Italy or in Bari where where he was from. His school just didn't teach time. Like so
I don't know,
that
man.
that,
Like,
that got me heated. And honestly, that's in my opinion that's fishy. Like penalties you mess up, but to blow the whistle
a minute.
before a whole minute and then 15 seconds before halftime when Napoli's on the attack, like I don't know, man.
But and not only that, today he blew the whistle a full minute while Napoli's in the attacking zone. While they're in the attacking zone, they're in the final third. They have the ball.
I don't know, dude.
Di Lorenzo, I remember it. Di Lorenzo's making his run up the wing, up the right side, and he blows the whistle with a minute. A minute.
Listen,
Maybe maybe
I,
it's forgivable for a few seconds he goes before.
listen, I know the refs in Serie A have been pretty terrible for a lot of teams, but it's like man, like whenever there's these games and whenever we're have an opportunity like Milan drops points too. Like whenever we have that day when we could do something, we always get we always
Something.
get a Massa, we always get a Giacomelli, a masterclass, and now I don't even know what this guy's name is. I don't even care.
I
I don't
don't
want
even remember. I don't even want to remember his
like
name.
it's always one of those. Like come on.
Listen, like, dude, I can't even I can't even wrap my head around. Apart from the fact that we messed up a lot of
Well, we
opportunities.
messed up too, but honestly, like you see teams that get those calls when like they get the calls. Why can't we get the calls? Why is there no consistency? Why is it that some games we do get the calls and some games we don't get the calls? Why is it that some games VAR looks and why is it that some games VAR doesn't look? Like what's going on? Why is there no consistency? Like if it's consistently like VAR doesn't check anything, then I have no problems. It's like that all the time. It's like that for everybody. But the fact that like you can roll the dice and have a totally different um, refereeing system, if that's a way to even explain it, like
Yeah,
it's scary. And especially when you're in first place, it's
I
scary.
agree. I
Come
agree.
on. They
I
gotta do
agree.
better, man. They gotta do better. Not just for us, for everybody. Like it's gotta be
Everybody.
consistent.
Yeah, it's been
Consistency,
terrible
man. For
all around.
refereeing, all you want is consistency. If it's bad, let it be bad all the time. If it's good, let it be good all the time. Let the same fouls be fouls and the same non fouls be non fouls. We
I
just want
agree.
consistency. Why is there never consistency?
I
We
agree.
think
Man, it's been a rough year for Serie A and refereeing. It's just like I don't
refereeing
know what it is this year. They just can't make a good call for their life. Like I haven't seen one game where there was a good display of refereeing. I can't. I literally cannot. I
I
cannot tell you one.
I mean, there's always going to be those controversial calls in most games, but like,
These
woof, like wow, like howlers, man, like wow, like I don't know,
Pete has a
it
good point here.
really pisses me off. I'm so fed up sometimes with this league.
Listen, at the end of the day, we just have to take care of our own problems. And our problem this game was, first of all, Verona. I don't know. Didn't
No,
help that Koulibaly
there,
gets
there's
that
some
red card,
things.
against Salernitana, and then we don't have Koulibaly versus Simeone, which would have helped us a lot. Mario
Something.
Rui is literally, I don't know, man. He has games where he
No,
looks good, and then against Badak, he looked like he didn't know what he was doing.
Carm. That Mario Rui gets caught a lot like that. But the thing is Juan Jesus played a great game. I don't want to shit on him. Like I'm not. Just a disclaimer. I'm not shitting on him. But if that was Koulibaly instead of Juan Jesus, Koulibaly would have saw. at the first glance, okay, Mario Rui is having a lot of problems right now. Let
Yeah.
me already go this way and be ready for him to be beat by Barak and be there. Instead, he watches and he played good, but that's the difference between a regular center back or a good center back and Koulibaly. Koulibaly has probably one of the highest IQs in all of Europe for a defender. Like he would have easily read that. And I
Yeah.
think if Koulibaly's there, that play doesn't even happen. And even if he stays there, you think he gets muscled off the ball? Like absolutely not. And yeah, again, like Koulibaly
Koulibaly.
makes everybody look better. It's a
Yes.
known fact.
I remember it's like that PSG game where he throws Mario Rui into the path of where he needs to go. Like
He's
Koulibaly,
Mario Rui's handler basically.
he is Mario Rui's handler, and literally Koulibaly plays three positions at once when he's on the field. If okay, now with Ramani there's a little bit more stability in the midfield in the center because when Manolas was playing, there were some games where Manolas would have a stinker, and Koulibaly would have to play left back and two center backs. And
Yeah,
sometimes Di Lorenzo, when he fucks up, he's got to play right back too.
yeah.
Like he is. There is no other defender like him. And against a team like Verona, who had just got a new coach, who, by the way, fantastic. Tudor's doing a great job with
Oh, they're
Verona.
playing very good,
They're
man.
playing very good.
Simeone is like a bat out of hell, man. I don't know. That guy's like he could be so good, like, but he just is so inconsistent. Like he
I agree.
disappeared. Like I forgot
Yeah,
he existed for like a year, and then like now he's like, what is it?
amazing.
7 goals in 3 games or 7 goals in
Yeah, something
4 games?
like
It's
that.
unbelievable. Like
It's really unbelievable. But at the end of the day, we get the tie. We don't lose the 3 points. We still come out with a point. Luckily, Milan comes out with just a point too. We're still level. We're still capolista into this international break with the
yeah.
goal
even
differential.
even Inter dropping 2 points is important because to be
Exactly.
honest, like, we don't know who the bigger threat is at this moment. Like Milan has been good. They've been very lucky in a lot of games, but
Mm,
Inter has the team that they could be dangerous to in the long run. Like in my
yeah.
opinion, I think that they're stronger than Milan. If you go tit for tat, like
Yeah.
player wise, like I think like they have a better team, deeper team. So both of them
Milan
dropping points is good in my opinion.
Milan will eventually start to drop points too. We'll start
Everybody
dropping
will.
points.
Everybody will. But
And you know what? The next coming weeks are going to be tough. But we'll get into that right after we do this segment again. The weekly report card. Well, we are in an international break now, so we're going to base this purely off of the Salernitana match and the Verona match. Wow, I
and also,
forgot
I also took into consideration the Legia game too.
the which game?
The Europa
Oh, the
League.
Warsaw game. The Warsaw game. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we'll throw that in. Um, and you know what? I was going to change my score, but now that you threw in the Warsaw game, kind of justifies it.
Yeah,
I said B or B plus. I'm going to start sticking with a B. I don't think it's B plus, to be honest with you.
yeah, no, that's
I,
fair.
s- I said B plus to give benefit of the doubt, but going back against the Salernitana match, which, by the way, Salernitana played that game like a Champions League final too,
Yeah, they basically did. Basically
and
was for them to be
it
honest.
was, and fuck Salernitana. Let me just say that right now. I don't want to go more into it, or I'm really going to get mad. Um,
To clarify, we mean Salernitana the team, not Salerno, because
Not Salerno.
as
Listen, we
I
have
have a lot of friends from
a good
Salerno, but
friend of ours, and helps us run the club is from Salerno. Love the guy. Fuck Salernitana. That's I don't like that team. I'm gonna stick with a B. It was average. It was average at best. If I had to, it was like me in high school. I did the bare minimum, but still got by. B
yeah,
average. And Sereno, we talked about this before. You gave me your score. You're gonna agree with me here. It's a B. Go
yeah,
ahead. Let's take it
yeah.
away.
Yeah, I mean, uh, the effort's been there. I feel like we've been lacking a little bit of creativity in the front those last few games, other than the Warsaw game, but we kind of flexed our bench that game, and I think Unas deserves some more minutes. I think Patania's played a great game. Lozano's looking like he's getting his legs back along with Zelinski, so that was an important game for confidence and things like that, and getting your bench some minutes. But then again, with Verona, you're making the chances, but you're just lacking in that final third. So hopefully they can get that sorted out over the international break. Um, which I don't mind the international break at this time because, like I said, we're not playing. We haven't been playing bad, but we haven't been playing great. Obviously, you don't like the international break when you're playing fantastic, but it gives Spalletti a little bit of time to really go over these next few games, which this next month, I'd say these next 2 months, even December, is
Mhm.
going to be very important when it comes to May, in my opinion. So we're playing some really big games, and you need everybody focused. And the guys who aren't on international break, they got to know their role, and if they have to fill in, they got to know what they got to do. And
Yep.
we need to have a good game plan for these next couple of months because I feel like these games are what define your season at the end of the day. So
Yep.
you can't be dropping points against the big guys. Like
I agree.
those games are like 6 point games basically when it comes to the standings. Like you got to create distance, and then well, right now at this point we're in front, so you want to create distance as much as you can with everybody, not just Milan. You want to make distance with Lazio. You want to make distance with all these teams. It's very important. And
Yep.
the games away from home, a tie I would be happy with. Like Inter
Mhm.
next week is going to be a tough game. If
Yep.
it's a tie, I'd be willing to accept a tie because a tie away is like a win in my opinion.
Mhm.
Just don't lose it. You just can't lose those games
Yeah, I agree. And
because you're
I
giving
think
those teams 6 points basically if you lose.
yeah, exactly. If you
Yeah,
lose the 6 points. And I think of it like this: if you can not lose the away games and win the home games, that gives you a scudetto.
yeah, absolutely.
That gives you a scudetto. If you
That's
don't
what you did
lose
in
those
the playoff
games,
time.
yeah, exactly. If you don't lose those games and you win your home games, yeah, you're gambling that you got to win your home games, but you're playing at home, and the Maradona is a fortress. So I'm gonna take my bets on that one.
Let's
I'm
hope
gonna hedge my bet
that it is the fortress that we want it to be with the Ultras are
slowly,
coming back now. So
slowly,
we need them to be honest. I know
slowly.
it's a polarizing topic, but we trust me, we need that atmosphere in the
Yeah,
stadium.
I agree. Slowly and surely, it's going to become the fortress that we need it to be. And based on the last couple of weeks, like you said, I said a B for the report card. By the way, whoever's watching comments right now, give us your report card. So, Verona, Salernitana, Warsaw game. What do you give them as their mark for the weeks? And Sereno with the B. Like I said, it wasn't the greatest performances, but I'd rather have those bad performances against those teams than a bad performance against the teams that are coming up in the hell month, Inter, Spartak, Lazio.
Yeah.
These are going to be the hardest. It's the hardest stretch of games that we have. Not only because of this, is because after this, after the Lazio game, let me tell you right now who we play. Um, After the Lazio game, we play a come on.
We play Spartak, no? Or no, that's in between.
Well, we play Spartak. We play Inter, Spartak, Lazio. Then on December 1st, we play Sassuolo. Happy birthday to me. That's going to be such a gift. December 4th is going to
Yeah,
be Atalanta.
doesn't get any easier, eh? I told you December too is gonna be tough.
December 9th, Leicester City. And then we play Empoli. So we have a little bit of a break. And then we play Milan. And then we play Spezia. And then we play Juve. So it's like, this is a tough
I'll
stretch.
be honest, even Spezia and Sassuolo give us games when we play them. So
Yeah,
this is
they
going to be
do.
very, very hard. This is going to be a very hard. Like honestly, if it's a merry like if we get to Christmas and we're still like where we are in the standings, like we're in really good freaking shape. Like I'll tell you right
Yes.
now, because like but one good thing I can say is we play them like if we could be in front all of these games that we're playing, like we played what? Roma is going to be away. Inter is going to be away. Just Juve we played at home. Uh, Milan is away. If you can be in front, and then now the next half of the season, those guys are all in Napoli. So we gotta like if we're in front in by the time that the schedule turns over, we're in very very good shape, my friend. We're in a very good shape.
Yes.
This is probably like our most important couple of months like in a long time.
Yeah,
Like, this is make or break time right now.
it is, and this is where we separate the boys from the men. Like, listen,
Absolutely.
Milan has already went through their stretch. They played these teams. They're 10-2. They're the same as us right now. We just got to make sure that we keep up this pace against these teams. We got to go into that Inter match on Sunday, the 21st, not this Sunday, then the following Sunday, I think it is. You got to go into that match, even though we're playing away. I would try to push for a win as much as possible, to be honest with you, and
No, for
try to
sure.
get a little bit more separation between us because you can never be too careful when you're coming up to a team like Milan and the role that they're on. And then we're playing Lazio at home, which Lazio with Sarri, they're okay. Like they have a lot of problems in the back, and I think we can win that game. To be honest,
I think we could win Lazio
um,
for sure.
but like you never know. Lazio puts up a fight. They beat Roma in the derby 3-0. So if they're on their game, Lazio's on their game, and they're going to be hard to beat. Then
But
we
hey,
play
if we
Sassuolo,
play
which
defensively, like how we're like with Koulibaly, how we've been playing defensively,
yeah,
like if you could allow 0 goals, the worst you can do is tie. So we gotta, if we keep our defensive structure how solid it's been, we're gonna either win or tie games. We're not gonna lose games. So
yeah,
I think that's the key. Like if we can replicate and be consistent in the way we defend, and Ospina can play great, we're in very good shape. So the attackers will figure it out, but I feel like that's the most important thing is if we can keep as good as we've been defensively, like we'll be in very good shape. Even if we tie those games, if, at the end of the day, like we won't have too much problems. But
I agree.
like you said, we got to be in the mentality where we got to go and win those games for sure.
I agree. I agree. So we just gotta keep the pace. That's it.
Yeah,
That's all we gotta do. Is just gotta keep the pace at this point. So I think in the next three, let's just talk about these next three games. I'm gonna give a prediction: a tie versus Inter, and two wins against Lazio and Spartak. That's my prediction.
I'm gonna say 3 wins.
Three wins. Oh,
Yeah,
bold. We're gonna go bold. Three wins. Why
three
do
wins.
you think we can beat Inter? I think it's gonna be a
Yeah.
tie. I don't
No,
know.
I think we're gonna beat Inter. I think that's gonna be like the Inter game is what's gonna ignite them to beat the other teams too. I feel like that's gonna be probably our best game of the season.
I like that. I like
Keep
that.
it.
That's a good thinking.
You gotta make a clip right now. So if when it happens, you heard it here first.
Say I won't, or I'm gonna put it on their Instagram too and everything. I'm gonna put this clip right on there so
If it
everyone knows.
happens, and then if it doesn't happen, then you can put it in and say it's all my fault. I mushed Napoli. But
All right. So you're saying out of the next 9 points, we're going 9 for 9. I'm saying we're going 7 for 9. We're dropping 2 points versus Inter. That's my prediction
I
though.
say if we drop points, it's gonna be against Salerno, against
Salem,
Sassuolo.
Sassuolo on December
Sassuolo.
1st.
I say
I
if
hope
there's a
not.
game that we drop points, it's gonna be Sassuolo, not
I
against.
hope not. I need a good birthday that day. I can't afford a bad birthday.
All right.
I need a good birthday. I can't afford
A
that.
tie. It's gonna be a good tie.
Yeah.
Or maybe
All
they
right.
win, but I'd say that's more of a game that worries me, to be honest.
Yeah. All right. Well, with that, that covers everything that we wanted to talk about for this week. Our next episode, Napoli doesn't play this week, so our next episode will be the Friday after the Inter match. So that will be covering both the Inter and I believe the Spartak game. So let me tell you exactly what day that is, and that would be the 26th. So on the 26th would be the next episode. Sorry we have to leave you guys for so long, but
Okay.
just keep
Absence
in
makes the
mind
heart grow fonder, right? Like
exactly,
remember
exactly.
our face all the time.
So with this in mind, just remember that we'll be posting it on our social media too. Um, we will be posting all of our stuff with the Far From Vesuvius network. So just keep an eye out for that. All the podcasts and stuff like that will be on the Far From Vesuvius network. With that being said, thank you all for joining, participating, letting us know what you think in the comments. Thank you for everyone who's listening right now and will listen to the audio podcast or just rewatch this episode on YouTube. My name is Carmen Guadagno again. Hit me up on Twitter at t.tifoso. Got my boy Sereno. What's
And
your
for,
ad again?
it's Sere underscore green olive, but you don't gotta follow me because I'm not that interesting to be honest. But if you
No,
want
follow.
to, it's Sere underscore green olive.
Follow him. Follow him. He's got some good memes coming out of that. He's got good memes coming out of that Twitter account. That's a very
Well,
suggested follow. You can also follow our social media for the podcast at FDV Podcast on Twitter and on Instagram, and our club for the further news on the Fubo thing. That is Napoli Club Toronto, both on Instagram, and Napoli Club TO on Twitter. So with that, ciao ragazzi. It's been a pleasure as always.
take care
Forza
and
Lazio
enjoy
sempre.
some weeks of calmness before the storm.
Exactly.
All right,
All
take
right,
care, everyone.
guys. Have a
Ciao.
good one. Ciao.